All right then, let's talk about colors and fonts. In the last tutorial, we talked about columns, rows, containers, the a bar, but today we are going to talk about colors. And in your live folder, let's create a new file and call it color dart. Yeah, this where we are going to be doing this. And let's create a stateless widget and call it color screen. And we are going to import this material, make it a scaffold. Yeah. And then we have an up bar that has a title of text colors, something like this. Yeah. So we are going to go to our main.dart and just link it up. Color and what is it called? Color screen. Okay, this is it. Now, when we reload, yeah, it changes. Okay, so let's go back and in the body of our scaffold, let's have a center and then a little text here. And hello code planners, something like that. Let's make this constant. Okay, so this is what we have. And remember the last time we talked about styles for our text. So let's create a new style. And we have text style. Yeah, and let's give it a little font size, make it a little bigger. Let's say we give it a font 30. Yeah. All right. So let's say we want to apply some colors. We are just going to give it a color property and we're going to say colors that we have access to a whole lot of material colors. And if you want to see other colors, you have the color palettes here and it's a lot of colors. So you can go over to this page and see the colors you want to use. Now, Flutter give us access to all the material colors that you are going to be needing. And so let's say we want to make these colors that orange, and there you have it. Also, you have access to a couple of shades of oranges, I think. Okay, so you can do a dot shade and you have all the shades and it's going to give an error, but because we made this a constant and we're going to remove that. And when we save, okay, you have that. Also, you can also do pass in the shade and we can say, let's make it 800. Yeah, you see, it changes. Okay, so what about if you have a custom color, like maybe you have a color code and you want to use that. So something like this. Okay, so we have red 50 and you can always do that by saying red 50. And let me give you an example. You can say the red, yeah, and you can pass in 50 and it's going to give you this color, which is this basically. Or you could say red 600 and this is going to give you that color, red 600. Yeah, you see, exactly. Also, alternatively, you could just pick up the color code here and use it directly in your app. But how you're going to do that, what you're going to do is that you're not going to call the color class. You're just going to do color, but then you're going to pass in, if you see, okay, so this is how you are going to use it. For example, to get the fully opaque orange, you can do FF for the alpha, red, something like that. But here, here's what you're going to do. Can do 0x FF and you pass in the color. So it's complaining. That means you have to make this a const. Yeah. And you see it already highlights the color for you. In fact, you can pick the color and it's going to change. So when you save that, yeah, we still have the same color because we are using this. Okay, what about this? Let's have 900 here. and we are going to paste the color code after the FF. Yes. And then, yay, we have it. There you go. All right, now let's talk about fonts. Okay, so if you want to do fonts, you are going to come over here. And let's say you have a custom font that your client gives you, or in the project they use any of the Google fonts. These are the fonts that comes from Google. You can just come over here and let's say you want this Pacifico. Yeah, we are going to download the family. So when we have the download, we're going to open, and it's going to bring us in the zip folder. I'm going to unzip that, and then we have the font here. So how do you use that in your code? Let's see. So we have the font here, and you go over to your prospect.yaml file. Now, they have already given you an example of what a font, how to use a font. But before that, you're going to create a font folder, and in the root of your project, you're going to right click and click on the folder and put in the fonts. Yeah. And we are just going to drag our font, Pacifico Regular, that we unzipped. This only the one that ends in .ttf, and you're going to drag it over to the fonts. Yeah, and we have that. All right, so and we have the fonts commented. So we are going to do a Control K, Control U on my laptop, Control K, Control U to comment it out. So we need to register this font. So let's delete this one with the family. And what's the name of the font? We are going to give it a font name, and we are going to say Pacifico. That is the name that we want to use, call the font. And where is it located? It is in our fonts, Pacifico Regular. Make sure it is the same name, Pacifico Regular. And we are going to just delete the style and these other assets. That should be enough for us. So once you save that prospect, the YAML, we do a Flutter pub get. And yeah, it looks like we are done with that. Now let's apply that font to our text. And after the color, you can do font family. Now we are going to give it the name of the font family, which is Pacifico here. And then you're just going to pass that. Okay, so it's not going to show, but if you do a hot restart, you should be able to see that it has changed. Yeah, it should. If it doesn't, let's rebuild the app all over again, and it's going to change. And there you go, a font has changed here. So that's how you use colors and fonts in your project.